So welcome back, everyone. I got a lot of Mikes and M's today, I'll tell you right now. My next guest is Mike Salazar, and he is the owner of Pass Fire Protection. You've been on my show before, too. Welcome back to the show. You got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and, what we're going to talk about today.
All right. Thanks, Carol. I'm glad to be back. And, yes, it's always nerve-wracking to come on your show. You never know what's going to happen. But
right, because I try and make you feel comfortable, don't I?
Yeah, you absolutely do. But all the cameras and all the microphones.
We're live on Facebook, so we should say hi to everybody out there again. And, here's the thing about you. I want to talk about why you were here, because when the first time you came on after the show, I was like, you could have your own show because you could talk about fire protection. And a lot of people don't protect themselves. So let's talk about you.
Well, thank you. Yes, what we do is we take care of fire extinguishers, fire sprinklers, fire alarms, kitchen hood systems. We protect the cooking equipment inside of food trucks as well. And what we try to do is, not what we try, but what we do is we protect people from the unforeseen fires that might happen. We don't know when it's going to happen, so we want to be prepared either with an extinguisher that you can physically use or some of these other systems that are automatic that don't need your interaction.
Now, I want to talk to everyone because you do both residential and commercial.
Yes.
And when you do commercial, you do training for the businesses that would like to learn how to make sure that they're know what to do, a plan, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Whether it's an extinguisher or a sprinkler system or fire alarm, if those things go off, you need your people or you need to know how to operate them. An extinguisher, most people see them, but they've never really handled them, so they don't understand maybe how heavy it is or how awkward it is to handle it first.
It's not just pull and do it. It says you said something. What is it?
Yeah, it is. It's pass, our name.
What is it?
Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. But sometimes the pulling is just very difficult under those circumstances. You don't have the gummies, to calm your nerves when you're trying to execute that fire extinguisher.
Right. When the fire is really there, believe me, it's not easy.
No, it's not, unless you train often.
And when you're trained, and that's what they do in businesses, right? Do you also do that at homes, too?
We would, but we don't really get much people interested in it. I think when it comes to our homes, we don't think much in terms of safety, per se, let alone fire safety. So a lot of times we don't think it's going to happen to us. And then it does, and then we're wondering what to do at that point in time. So if we can get ahead of the game, it makes it a lot easier in your house. But
so you're mostly commercial and food trucks.
Yes, because they're regulated. When you talk about commercial buildings or food trucks, you have fire marshals that walk through those buildings that mandate these things happen. Insurance companies mandate it. When we talk about your house, nobody really governs that but you. So it's really up to you, and sometimes we don't even know what questions to ask, so we come on shows like this so that you have a better understanding of what maybe to ask.
Thus, why I like the show. It's information, and I said it earlier, and I say it again. But people can buy, if they wanted to, get an extinguisher off of your website. Am I correct if I remember correctly?
Yes, they can get on our website, and they can contact us, or they can shoot us an email, and we would be more than happy to.
So it doesn't matter whether you're residential or commercial on that. You can get fire extinguishers through you. And what's the difference between your fire extinguishers and anyone else's?
Well, the ones that we sell are going to be rechargeable. They're going so if you use it, we're going to be able to refill it for you. They're also going to be able to go through the maintenance that are required.
Right.
It's like an oil change.
The last thing you want is if you need to use a fire extinguisher and it doesn't work. And how often does that happen?
I'm not real sure. I wish I had better statistics. That'd be a good one to look up. But I do know, just like the baking soda in your refrigerator, sometimes you forget to change it out and then you go and it's as hard as a rock. Well, if you forget about that extinguisher, you've had it there 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, there's potential that could be just as hard as that baking soda in your refrigerator. And so you go to use it, it's not going to work.
Well, today what we're going to do is, if it's okay with you, we want to open up the lines to the audience because we want to offer everyone to get entered in to win one fire extinguisher. And not everybody has them. Or they did and they moved and they lost it and then they never got one, right? How often does that happen to you, that you hear that?
Oh, a lot, yes. Or, we do some of these trainings. We'll go to the buildings and people are like, oh, I have one of those in my house. And, I don't know what to do with it. I don't even know if it's any good anymore. It's like, yeah, bring it in. We're frequently here. We'll take a look at it for you, because we want to help people protect themselves. The more education, the more empowerment it is for them.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the lines for the audience. What size is it? Tell them about it.
Well, what we have is a 5-pound ABC fire extinguisher. An ABC is standing for that it'll take care of a Class A fire, a B fire, and C fire, which is everything that you pretty much have in your house.
Not huge.
No, it's not it's not going to take up too much room. It's not going to be gaudy, but it's a good size. It'll be big enough to put out, trash can size fire in your house, and that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. So we're going to open up the lines. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It's a 5-pound fire extinguisher, and
Yes.
what'd you say?
ABC for
ABC,
three types of fires.
And what's the value of that?
They're about $50.
So it's a $50 value free to you or anyone you know. Where should people put them?
Ideally, you want to put them in your kitchen or in your garage, because the kitchen's where you have your grease and your fires typically are going to start. And your garage also, because we store a lot of paint, we store a lot of chemicals in our garage. We usually store them close to each other. We don't store them in flammable lockers, so there's a huge potential for fires to happen. I actually went to a house recently that they had just those scooters plugged into the wall, and the charger, caught on fire. So
It's amazing. And fires start the craziest ways. They really do, especially in the kitchen. So we've got everybody entered in to win. It's a 5-pound ABC fire extinguisher, and it's a $50 value free to you. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Your website is passfireprotection.com. You're statewide. You're rated with the Better Business Bureau. If you're a business and you want them to come in and they want them to do some training, you offer a 2-hour fire extinguisher training class, and it includes a fire extinguisher that they get as well?
Yes, and it's a good to practice on real life fires, to be able to handle the extinguishers under a controlled environment, so that when you do go pick one up, you have a better understanding of how big they are, how heavy they may or may not be, and how to operate it properly.
Well, you never know when you're going to have to pull, aim, squeeze, or sweep. Right? And that is what PASS stands for. And you know what? You do want to be trained. A lot of people think that even if you have a fire extinguisher and you think, well, I'm fine, you don't even know if it works. And that's really the case. I'm sure that happens a lot. And oh my God, you're standing there and you pull the thing and it doesn't work. So you want to have it looked at. You can do that too. You can check them out on their website. It's passfireprotection.com. You can call them. Their phone number is 602-833-9117. They're statewide. We also work on, you said, you also work on food trucks as well. A lot of fires that people have. But we're going to let everyone call in throughout the rest of the show also for this 5-pound fire extinguisher. It's an ABC fire extinguisher. I get tongue-tied when I'm doing this. And it's a $50 value free to you. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. How often are your services required?
Well, it depends on what type of system, but the minimum is going to be a year, and for hoods, for kitchen equipment, we usually go every 6 months.
So so people in their homes should have their hoods checked too?
Well, they don't have a suppression system.
I should say this, your stove hoods.
No, they don't actually have it, but one thing you want to be very particular about is keeping it clean. Grease fires start sometimes from the grease, but it could be the buildup inside the hood itself. But so commercial kitchens, they have to actually get their hoods cleaned frequently, and then we have to inspect their fire protection systems every 6 months.
Well, you got to be careful out there. Dangerous things can happen. Fires happen very easily, especially in your homes and businesses. Any business? Do you go to any businesses, or does it matter?
No, we go to any business that has any kind of equipment that needs servicing or inspections.
If you're in an office and you have any type of way that there might be a fire, you need to have them check it out and maybe even do a little training for you. Also, if you're a food truck owner, please, definitely, you know that those fires probably happen all the time. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Also, right now, if you're residential or commercial, we want everybody to get entered in to win it's a fire extinguisher extinguisher, and everyone should have one. The number to call here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Call throughout the rest of the show. It's passfireprotection.com. We're talking with Mike Salazar, and he's the owner of Pass Fire Protection. Pass stands for pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. And we want you to understand something, that we are talking definitely commercial. We know that the commercial people understand that they have those regulations that they have to follow. You're here to help them for training if they need it, so they can always call you for training to get have them come in and do that. But you definitely today said you wanted to talk about the houses out there that don't have fire extinguishers in their homes. They should probably get a little training as well. You do these consultations for free, correct?
Correct. Yep. We want to educate people.
And you also work with food trucks. We want people to know those food trucks out there. You can call them and they can help you too. When a fire happens, you are so nervous. You have no idea what you're doing. And like we were talking at the break, some people don't know where they are, right? You said they don't even know how to handle them. You were explain some of that and to why it's so important, especially for those homeowners. Go ahead.
Well, when the panic attacks, if you're not trained a lot, you don't think about it. And what I was describing is the way the extinguisher is created, you hold it by the handle. So intuitively, you're going to squeeze that handle while you're trying to get the pull pin out, but usually you're fighting yourself because the pull pin's stuck between the handle and your grip. And then if you don't get it right away, you're really starting to panic, and then you're going to just give up. If you even know where the extinguisher's at. A lot of times people they know they have one, but they don't know exactly where it's at.
Right, and even if you had it, it's been there for years, it probably doesn't even work. It's probably dried up.
Yep.
Let me ask you this too. I was thinking this, I want you to tell them what makes your fire extinguishers different than others.
Well, they're serviceable, so that if you do use them, we can come back and service them. We can replace them because we have a number of them. There's some out there that can't be serviced. You'd have to throw them away and get another one. But for ours, they're made out of metal. They're at a higher standard. They're industrial standard. They're what we use in the commercial industry. So it's good enough for the commercial. It's going to be good enough for your house.
Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. This is a 5-pound ABC fire extinguisher, which means that it's for your ABC or fire. It's not your big fire out there that you're dealing with, but a small one in your home or in your garage or wherever, in your trash can. If something happens, that's what we're giving away here. It's a $50 value, free to you or anyone you know, and we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for it. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I believe everyone obviously should have one for sure. You guys listening out there, please call in here, get entered in to win one. It's awesome. If you don't win, buy one. You should have one.
Yep, absolutely. And then learn how to use it.
And that's where you come in, is that you also, what makes you different is when when you go to some other place, you're going to pick it up and put it in your basket and go. And you pay for it. With you, you're going to teach them how to use it, make sure they know what they're doing with it.
Yes, because there's no such thing. I mean, you don't want it if you don't know what you're going to do with it or how to use it. And we want you to be safe. We want your kids to be safe.
So we do too, and I think that's what's great that you're offering for everyone to get entered in to win one. It's a $50 value, free to you. They're statewide. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. The website is passfireprotection.com, and anyone, whether your business or not, or a home, you need to have one at hand's reach. Let's talk about too, the other thing that you wanted to talk about was a little bit more about the training.
Yeah, there's training. We can do multiple trainings.
I meant to say, not the fight training. You talked about the training. I'm sorry, I interrupted you on my own show.
That's
but
all right.
I wanted to say fire sprinkler maintenance. That was what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Yes, I was telling Carol that, throughout the valley, there's a number of houses that have fire sprinkler systems in them as well. And again, since they're not regulated by the fire department, they're not regulated by the city after they're installed, a lot of people forget about them. And there's a lot of things that could go wrong with them that we don't realize. And since nobody is going and inspecting those, you don't know if they're right or wrong. So, for instance, if you're repainting your house, you shouldn't paint those sprinkler heads. I've been in some houses that they're painted. If they're painted, they're not going to work properly. So
Absolutely,
you need to
the
look
paint's
for
going to
that.
make it stick.
Yes, and you got to burn through the heat, burn through the paint in order
It
to
probably
get the.
then makes it even worse.
Yeah, it takes longer to activate.
Mm-hmm.
I've also noticed that a lot of people don't have like spare sprinkler heads on hand. So when there is a fire and the fire department does show up, they're going to shut down the water to the sprinkler system, which is tied into your house water. So now you have no water to your house. You have no water to the fire sprinkler system because the fire's out. But in order to get it all back in, you got to be able to put the sprinkler head back in. So a lot of these houses don't have spare parts. So it's like, get the spare parts now before you need them so that you can get your water turned on right away as well. So I would recommend, at least once a year, or more frequently, is have somebody go through your house, because there's recalled sprinkler heads that I've seen in houses that may or may not work now. There's painted heads. There's a lack of heads in case something does go wrong. Because we don't have to do it in our homes, we just forget about it because we don't think about those things until
we think it's
needed.
cool that we got it,
Yeah.
right? Is that the thing?
No, it
Because
is
I mean,
good.
I didn't know that homes had them.
Yes, there's a few communities that it's required, and then there's other houses that people have chosen to do it. And like I said, once they're in, and nobody thinks about it anymore because
You're not looking at them.
Yeah, they don't turn on and off and on and off, but they're there to protect, and they do their job. But there's certain things that could impede them from working correctly, and if you don't know and nobody's going out there and looking at it, then it may not work when you need it to work, and we want to make sure those work as well.
Now, you do that both for residential and commercial, obviously, right?
Yes.
So anybody that, even your businesses out there, these things need to be serviced. They need to be looked at. They need to be checked. It's great you have it, and it's all awesome that you're being, you're all covered and you're making sure you got all the right things. But if you don't have them working right, it's not going to matter.
No, it's a false sense of security, right? I mean, you're just like, oh, we put all this stuff in, we're good to go. It's like a smoke detector. If you pull out the batteries and you take the thing down because it was chirping in the middle of the night and you never put it back up, you have a smoke detector, but it's not really going to tell you anything. It's not going to work properly.
Right, and if they also go bad too, a lot of these things do, and then you just don't take care of it, and the
Yep.
next thing you know, boom, something happens.
And again, it's because we're not regulated. We don't have our insurance people going in there and telling us we have to do this. We don't have fire marshals going in there and doing it. We don't have city officials. Nobody's regulating our houses, so we have to regulate them. But if we don't know what needs to be regulated, then we don't know that. So that's why we're here
You
to
don't
try to
know
educate.
what you don't know.
Yep.
And that's why you hear it on this show. And then you tell someone about it. Let's say someone's listening right now and knows somebody that is living in a house with sprinklers in it. I mean, there are several people that you say have it. And you're hearing this, you might say, you know what, have you ever had your sprinklers checked in your home? You might want to do that.
Absolutely, especially if you've remodeled. Maybe you don't have enough anymore, or they're blocked, or like I said, they've gotten painted, or they're got oversprayed with texture. You know what I mean? All those things are going to impede the operation of it. So it's good to have somebody get eyes on it just to make sure it is going to work. It's still in good shape.
Now, that's statewide that you work, and
Yes.
you're rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can check him out on his website. It's passfireprotection.com. You could also call them direct. The phone number is 602-833-9117. They will do a free consultation. Obviously, they do commercial and food trucks and all of that. But we're talking about residential homeowners as well right now, because a lot of people out there don't have this, and you want them to be safe, and you want them to have at least a fire extinguisher in every home.
Yeah, absolutely, because the extinguisher is the first line of defense. If you see something that's on fire, use your extinguisher. It's not a big deal. It's
And
when
the
you
holidays are
Yep.
around a corner, and how many fires come up, especially, you
Yep.
have the trees, and it's so hot here, and I'm sure more fires happen than not here during the holiday season. Do you find that?
Yes, absolutely, because of the lights on the Christmas trees. We're lighting jack-o'-lanterns. Even our heat. I mean, I've been surprised at how many car fires I even see driving up and down the freeways. I would recommend putting one in your car, too, just because I see more here because of our heat. It really affects things differently, but you're
And-
absolutely right.
Absolutely, and their fire extinguishers are different because you get them. You get them with it, that they are going to train you to understand how to use it, and if you need to use it, they can service it, they can make it reusable, which is really neat that you can do that. Their phone, we're going to let everyone call in and still get entered in to win it's a 5-pound fire extinguisher. It's an ABC fire extinguisher, and it's a $50 value free to you or anyone you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. What are your final words?
Just be protected and be prepared. You know, that's the only thing you can do, because we don't know when a fire is going to happen. So the only thing we can do is have these things in place and know how to use them.
And if you're a business out there, we know you know that you need it. We know you know that. We know the food trucks know. But you don't know about him and that you might want to call them. They will do the training for you. They will take care of inspecting everything. And if you're a homeowner, call him. He's out there reaching out to you right now. I have fire extinguishers that are cool and different than anywhere you can get them. We've got our lines open here for people to keep on calling throughout the rest of the show. Get entered in to win one. It's a $50 value free to you or anyone you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Check them out on their website. It's passfireprotection.com.